Hello and welcome to Virtual Ventilog. This is the outcome of the previous tutorial. We're gonna take this bad boy and we're gonna integrate it into this tutorial, and this is gonna be the outcome. I am your host George, and hopefully you're gonna learn something today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's gonna help me a lot. Now let's get into it. Open Blender. I'm using 2.1 alpha. We got to hit this little plus, VFX, motion tracking. Now we can go to open and open whatever you find the file, but you can have I'm having the file here. I'm just going to drag it in, minimize this. First of all, we have to go to the render properties, color management. From filmic, go to standard. Boom, magic happens. Now set scene frames, prefetch. Everything stays like, instead of keyframe, let's use a previous keyframe. Detect features, we got the tracking dots. Now let's just track forward. Boom, 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 boom. All tracked and all good. Now we're going to the solve tab. We're going to go straight to the solve camera motion. We got the solve error of 0.91. We get, for me, is quite good, preferably is below 0.50, but we can weight it down a little bit if we place, like, basically they ask us to have like 8 tracking dots that stays through the whole film. So we're having these dots 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. We go to the track, deselect all, press this track, and we can see that it has this single track. It has an average error of 0.81. We can weight it down a little bit, and then when we're going to solve it again, this error is going to go down. This one has got 1.12 pixels. We can go weight it down a little bit more. 0.95, we can weight it down a little bit more. This one 59, I can work with it. 77 is alright. 66, not bad. 69, my favorite. 86, we can weight it down a little bit. 1.51, this one we can go a bit more. This one 2.18, we can go something like that. And then 0.59. Let's go to the beginning. In the beginning, and press A to select all, solve camera motion. Now you can see that we have a solve error of 0.82. Now we go to set up tracking scene, and head in the middle right corner we have movement. I'm gonna delete the default cube because it's just in my way. And if we press space, we have movement, and the plane is not actually staying fixed because it's moving with the footage. Now what we can do, we're going back to the beginning. We can set this one that we believe is going to be in the middle as the origin, and then another another 3 trackers. So I'm pressing click, shift, click, shift, click. This one is going to be the floor, and then because this being the origin, I'm going to select this as any axis, X or Y. Is still going to be the same. And now you can see the plane stays on the ground. If it's not fixed, and if it doesn't look good if it doesn't look the way you want it, we go to the layout, press 0, go to camera mode, and now we can see that the plane is just like a little bit more like tilted. So we're gonna tilt it a bit more like this, and then press G, Z, until it feels natural, like staying on the floor, or it is actually the floor. And now when we're pressing and we're playing the video, it looks like more natural. Anyway, this is just a reference. Alright, now that we have this motion tracked, let's clean up the scene a little bit. Let's delete the ground, press X. Let's delete the background, press X. Let's delete the light, press X. Let's rename the foreground something like tracking scene. Now we press on the scene collection. Now if we go to the file and we go to the append, whatever you saved from the tutorial, you're gonna find this folder, and we're gonna press on the collection, double click on the collection, we're gonna double click on the collection as well, and now we have whatever we made in the previous thingy in this file. Now let's start cleaning up this mess a little bit as well. So because we clicked on the scene collection, we've made another collection, and we're gonna name this collection like portal. We're not gonna need the camera, we're gonna press X to delete it, and then the plane, I think is this plane, we're gonna delete it as well because we don't need any green screen. And now let's take the circle, which is the outer circle, let's rename it something like portal. Let's take the circle one, let's rename it like inner portal. Then the planes is the particles. We're gonna rename this something like particle. And then the plane we're gonna name particle 1. We've done our cleaning up here. We're gonna close this. So we got tracking scene portal. We're gonna go on the scene collection just in case we're gonna add something else. Now we're going to the render view. And we have to make some modifying here. We're going to the output properties. Nope, is the scene properties. We're going to be ambient occlusion, bloom, screen space reflection, motion blur, and then on a film you're going to enable transparent, and on the color management it should be on standard. Now if we play spacebar, we have motion, but because this motion tracking is way longer than the particles, we're gonna change that as well. Now let's take let's still work on the portal, inner portal, let's leave it portal. Let's go to the portal, particle settings. We still have the 2 particle settings. We can see that it's gonna end somewhere around 250. So we're gonna need to increase the frame start and the frame end. The frame end is gonna be 465 on the first particle system. Then we go to the second particle system. We're gonna put the same 465, and then let's go to the beginning, the blinking, and it starts. And it's gonna go all the way up to the end. Up to the end we're gonna have particles emitting. Right, now let's position this somewhere where it's more reasonable for our scene. So we're gonna select these 2. We're gonna press, actually if we press G anywhere it's still gonna work. That is good. Control Z to undo whatever. Let's still select these 2. Let's press G. Let's put it here. Maybe rotate a little bit, but if we're gonna rotate this, then we're gonna press play. It's still working. That is good. I didn't know that. We learn something new every day. So we're going to rotate. We'll just make it like it looks like this. We're gonna scale it down a little bit to make it more natural, and then while we're playing, the portal stays there. Maybe put it more in the background. It's got too much light. Scale it down a little bit more, and then let's just put it there. If we press F12, this bad boy is gonna happen. My image in the background is a bit misleading because it's staying on the place. Let's change that. Yeah, this is better. So we upload our new video. We're gonna leave it and move it. Let's give it a 0 frames, and let's click auto refresh, and then we're gonna use the UV here. just so it stays put. You can see that we have the movement. We can go to the UV editing as well. Maybe if you don't like, or maybe if your video is reversed, you can press R to rotate, and then you can bring it the way it should be. Scale it down, scale it up, make it bigger, and now we've got this bad boy happening right here. Layout in the beginning, and there it is. We've got our portal tracked into our scene. Now that we find the portal somewhere where we think it belongs, let's go to the first frame. Let's take the inner portal, and we're gonna play with the scale. We have a scale of 1.6, maybe your other one is smaller or bigger. I think it was 1.59, but I run it to 1.6. We're gonna type in here 0, 0, 0. Keyframe, keyframe, keyframe. Then we're gonna go to the portal. We're gonna press here 0, 0, 0. Keyframe, keyframe, keyframe. Let's go to frame 50. Portal. We're gonna place here 1.6. Next one 1.6, and the next one 1.6. Enter. And then keyframe, keyframe, keyframe. In the portal, same 1.6, 1.6, and 1.6. Keyframe, keyframe, keyframe. Now, if we go to the beginning, we can see that we have movement and it grows in power. Boom, 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 boom. Do we have this the whole way through? Did we change it? Yes, we did. Right. So far, so good. We have movement. We have these things going on here, but it still doesn't look real. To make it look more realistic, we can Shift A, a plane, and then G Z a little bit, scale it, maybe let's rotate it a little bit to look more natural with the ground, something like this, and then GX, put it here, and then GZ, just so the particle is gonna actually interact with the ground. Maybe rotate it a little bit until it looks more natural, something like that. And then for the plane, we're gonna go to shading, new material, and instead of using this, we're gonna use a Shift high hold out in the surface. And then when we go to the layout, click anywhere, we can see that the portal actually interacts with the ground. You can see that the sparks is not going, it looks more realistic. Anyway, let's work with the particles because there are way too many to begin with. So we're gonna go back to the portal. We're gonna go to the particle settings, and now we are having all this craziness happening here. Don't want this mess to be, especially in the beginning. Especially in the beginning. So first off, let's take the first particle system settings, and let's make the frame to start around 40. Then let's go to particle system number 2, which is particle system number 1, and maybe to start around, let's see how it looks like this. It's actually, but they look like falling on the ground, so there is a lot of force here. We're gonna go on the second particle system, on the field weights, and let's just put the gravity just a little bit, not much, and then when we go to the beginning, it looks more natural, maybe a bit more. Anyway, there is a lot of sparks. Yeah, they're really yellow. maybe the first particle system start around 20. Let's see how this looks like. That is a lot better.